Benjamin Impossible. Chapter 9. The Enemy Has a Name. Later that evening, after Benjamin had taken a hot shower, the Impossible family decided to have a barbecue dinner and regroup on the Red Zeppelin. Mama Impossible was a 5-star chef and could flambe and demi-glaze with any cook in Paris. Unfortunately, her children had peculiar food tastes, and her husband had no taste buds at all. "What are you eating?" asked Captain Lemontime with disgust. "This," Benjamin replied, "is a Twinkie Wiener sandwich. It's the perfect snack after a long day underwater." The Air Force captain wrinkled his nose. "Is that cheese whiz you're squirting on top?" "Indeed," Benjamin replied, holding up the can of pressurized cheese and shaking it. "The key is to slice the Twinkie lengthwise before placing the hot dog inside. This exposes the creamy filling. The cheese layer on top creates a festive garnish and imparts a delightful aftertaste." "He saw it in a movie," Charlie explained. "No, I didn't," Benjamin snapped. "This culinary masterpiece is my own creation. You're just jealous." "Don't spoil your appetite," Mama Impossible called from the galley. "I've got a piece of lamb on the grill that has your name on it." Benjamin crinkled his nose. "Mutton! Yuck!" "I heard that," his mother called. The Red Zeppelin hovered several hundred feet over the ocean, floating off the coast of Florida. The sun was setting, and the sea looked peaceful below. They could see a strip of land in the distance that marked the coastline. They sat around the dinner table, eating with gusto. Papa Impossible had offered to fly Captain Lemontime back to NASA headquarters, but the Air Force captain had decided to stay on board until the investigation was finished. Mama Impossible bunked him in the guest bedroom at the front of the ship. Benjamin burped and grinned around at the table. "Okay, everyone, let's regroup and see what we've learned so far." The boy stood up and paced around the table, holding up his fingers. 1. We know someone out there has a large volume of hyperhelium gas. 2. We know that this person has sophisticated robots at their disposal. Benjamin walked over to the deck rail and pointed down toward the ocean below. 3. This person has a large submarine that makes them virtually impossible to find. He walked back and laid the bag of party balloons and the marbles on the table. Finally, this evil mastermind collects marbles and party balloons. Anyone have any ideas on how this is all connected? Nobody spoke, but Charlie raised his hand. "There can't be that many submarines in the world. Captain Lemontime, are you aware of any military submarines stolen in the last few years?" The captain shook his head. "I've already checked with the Navy. No submarine has been reported stolen or lost at sea for years." Mama Impossible brought in more food and sat down. "Surely a submarine must have a base somewhere? Don't they have to recharge or refuel like other ships?" The captain scratched his head. "It depends. Older submarines run on diesel fuel on the surface and rechargeable batteries when underwater. They have to surface daily to recharge those batteries with gas generators." The captain stabbed a piece of meat with a fork and chewed on it thoughtfully. "Modern submarines are powered by nuclear reactors and are capable of operating for decades without recharging." "Decades?" Mama asked, surprised. "Don't they have to get air somehow?" The captain shrugged. "Yes, but most submarines use chemical scrubbers to supply oxygen. They can stay out at sea for months. If the submarine is crewed with robots that don't breathe, a nuclear submarine could stay underwater indefinitely." Papa Impossible laughed. "I think we are getting ahead of ourselves. We don't know how many robots there are, how big this theoretical submarine is, and we certainly don't know if there is a nuclear reactor on board." Benjamin conceded the point. "True, Dad, but this is a good time for brainstorming, so let's not ignore any possibilities, even if they do sound ridiculous." Mama Impossible leaned forward and pointed at the party balloons lying on the table. "How about that pack of balloons Benji found underwater? Can we track down where they came from?" Charlie took the package and looked at the back. "Look, here is the barcode. Let me hack into the ISBN database and look up the barcode's point of origin." Charlie punched away on the computer built into his high chair. "Got it," he said in triumph. "These party balloons were made at Charleston Latex, LLC. It's a small factory located in South Carolina." Benjamin pondered. "Did that factory make anything else besides rubber balloons?" Charlie typed away. "I don't think so. They certainly don't make anything now. The place burned down last week." Benjamin jumped up. "What? It burned down too? Charlie nodded. Yes, according to this police report, a fire burned the place down overnight. The smell of burning rubber was so bad they had to evacuate several nearby houses. Benjamin paced around, thinking. This can't be a coincidence. The Acme toy factory burned down and this balloon factory burned down? I'm sensing a pattern here. At least the NASA building didn't burn down, Papa Impossible added. The VAB can't burn down, Captain Lemon-Time interjected. They build rocket engines in that building, so it is designed to be fireproof. Good thing, too, as those laser beams melted the heck out of the security cameras. Charlie, Benjamin said, can you run an online search? I want to know about any strange factory fires. Maybe, Charlie said. Can you be more specific? Concentrate on fires that have occurred in the past few months, in coastal cities with ports or along large rivers. The toddler banged away on his keyboard for a few minutes. I think I've got something. Good thinking, Benjamin. Charlie hit a button on the table, and a projection screen lifted up. He flipped a switch, and a map of the United States appeared on the screen for everyone to see. There have been 8 factory fires in the past month, all of them in coastal cities with easy water access to the Atlantic Ocean. Stars appeared on the map, marking the location of each of the factories. Charlie pulled out his favorite laser pointer. Here is the Acme toy factory that Benjamin explored a few nights ago. It is located near the Hudson River with direct access to the Atlantic. This spot marks the Savannah Glass Works, the world's largest provider of machine-made marbles. Charlie pointed his laser at another star along the coast. This is the Wilmington Balloon Exchange. They don't actually make balloons, but they are a major distributor of weather balloons shipped from overseas. Charlie looked around the table. The other factories are similar. They all produce balloons or glass marbles. They all had mysterious fires over the last few months. They are all close to water. But why? Asked Lemon-Time. What could anyone ever need that many marbles or balloons for? If this person or organization has enough funding to operate a submarine and control sophisticated robots, why would they bother with low-value junk like this? Benjamin looked at his father. Dad, you have the strongest background in chemistry and particle physics. Can you think of any way to combine hyperhelium with glass or latex balloons to create a new chemical or substance? The professor shook his head. No, hyperhelium is similar to regular helium. It's a noble gas and doesn't react with anything. Marbles and latex don't mix either. Benjamin turned back to Charlie. Have you had any luck with the robot head? Charlie grinned. Yes, actually. I was able to decrypt the encoding and can now access the GPS log. I can show you where that particular robot has been. Here's the location data on the map. Red dots appeared on the screen. They ran up and down the east coast. Benjamin snapped his finger. This clinches it, everyone. The factories and the robot GPS maps look the same. This robot has been to every one of those factory fires. This robot was one of the thieves. Mama Impossible shook her head. How come we don't see any GPS coordinates in the ocean? I thought we had a submarine running up and down the coastline. GPS signals don't penetrate underwater, so the robot couldn't log them, Charlie explained. That's why submarines have such a hard time navigating. Captain Lemon-Time stared at the map for a time, drumming his fingers on the table. Who is doing this? What crime organization or foreign power has the resources to strike this many random targets on American soil? Charlie raised his hand. I don't think it's an organization, Mr. Lemon-Time. I think it's just one man. The family turned to the toddler. Why do you say that, baby bird? Mama Impossible asked. Charlie picked up the robot head and spun it around. Because he wrote his name right here on this robot head. Sorry, I thought I had mentioned it earlier. Everyone jumped up and ran over to look. There, etched in fancy letters on the base of the robot's skull, they could read a message. Private property. If found, please return this evil robot head to Dr. Glockenspiel or face the consequences. Moo-ha-ha. This is the end of Chapter 9. Please like this video and then continue on to Chapter 10, Glockenspiel's Move.